To all the party people in the place to be, we hope you are doing well on this day, night, evening, morning, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. We hope that you are happy. This is going to be a short video going over all the conveyor components. So I had a commenter leave a comment in the video that they wanted a video explaining all the different pieces and how they worked. And so considering we're in the middle of this full rebuild, from scratch, I figured it might be a good idea just to show what all the pieces are, what they do, and how they work. So I've got this package here that we can sample with. And so the very first piece is the straight conveyor. And the game calls it, because some of them I give it a name and some of them it's the game's official name. So the game's official name is the straight conveyor. It costs $100. And all it is a conveyor belt that moves in a single direction. The way you can tell what direction it's moving in is if you're not holding it up, there's this little white arrow on the side, and that arrow points in the direction that the conveyor is rolling in. If you pick it up, you see that highlighted green arrow, and as I rotate the device, that arrow rotates to show what direction it's rolling in. And basically, packages on this conveyor roll in that given direction. And so if there's nothing in here to stop it, it'll just fall off. All right, so that's the basic conveyor. So you can right-click on this basic conveyor and upgrade it to level 2. And so this one in the middle is level 2, and we know that because it has this little blue streak on it right here. That's what tells it it's level 2. If you right-click on that for $100, you can go to level 3. And that's this one we have right here. And you know this one is level 3 because it has the really long blue line on it. Plus, level 3 is currently the max. And so I can't right-click and upgrade it again. So that tells me that that's level 3. The only difference between 1, 2, and 3 is the speed at which the belt flows. So if I put this package on there, you can see, you know, we'll unscientifically count it out here. So we'll drop it on the end. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, so 2 seconds for it to fall off. So this is the level 2, and we will, let me pick this guy up and put him here. All right, so this is the level 2, so let's count him down, and it's 1 1,000, 2 1,000, so just a little bit faster. Let me not get it where it's a funky drop off there. All right, ready? 1 1,000, 2 1,000, so it's about 1.5 seconds, so it saves you about half a second on the level 2, and so we'll put him there. And then now we'll do the level 3. I'm guessing it's going to be 1 second. All right, we ready? And 1 1,000, 2, yeah, so basically a second. So it's 2 seconds, 1.5 seconds, and 1 second is my unscientific test as the difference between levels 1, 2, and 3. Now, the next piece is the corner piece. That's what I call it. I think the game also calls it a corner conveyor. And the whole purpose behind the corner conveyor is it just allows you to turn corners. So the same arrow principle works. If I'm not having it picked up on the side, the little white arrow tells me which direction the conveyor is turning on. When I do pick it up, it does have the green arrow. I can rotate it. So if I want my packages to go that way, I can do that. Now, the other thing is I now have the flip button, which is the X key for me, and that allows me to go left or right. So right now, packages are moving from left to right, and then this corner is going to make them turn right. But if I want them to turn left, I just hit the X key, reconnect it, and now, as you can tell, now the packages are turning left. And so just to see that in action, it goes down, now it turns to the left, and it falls out. And right is the exact, so we'll flip it again, and now we're going to send it to the right. And now it goes to the right. And so that's essentially it. And so if you have more than one corner, let me come grab another one here. This is how you can go around things. So you can stack corners on corners. So if I hit this guy and I put him there, in this case, I want to do a U-turn. So I'm starting in this direction, and I'm going to U-turn and go back in the other direction. That's good for things like this where you want to load multiple racks side by side. You can do those little U-turns like that. The other thing it lets me do is if I flip it and then do it that way, this is what allows you to snake around other things. So let's say I had a conveyor, you know, here, and I wanted to snake around it. You can put those corners on corners, and that's what allows you to get around different obstacles, different things that may be in your way. So that is the corner conveyor. The next one is the pauser, which is this one. And the reason I know it's a pauser is because it has these little green lights on it. And even when my mouse is not on it, those are still glowing green. What the pauser does is, well, the pauser is what I call it. Let's make sure we got the official name. The official name is, yeah, pauser conveyor. And so what that does is when you put your mouse on it, you see I can left mouse click to toggle pause. So now it's red, which means that conveyor is not turning. And so what that allows you to do is that allows you to control flow. So right here, this thing stops. It's not going because this guy's turned off. So if I turn this guy on, now that guy will flow and fall off. And so pauser just allows you to control the flow of different things. Where this comes in handy, I personally put a pauser on every entry gate so that if I want to do some testing or if I'm doing some things like that, I can just shut off the flow right here and not even let it flow in. The other place where it comes in handy is on like train only doesn't run on Saturday and Sunday. So if it's Saturday or Sunday, you want to turn it off so that you're not dropping packages incorrectly down the chute. And there's a variety of other things you can use it for. You could put them periodically through like long runs. So if packages get piled up or you have a problem, you can kind of kill it earlier in the run, fix the problem later in the run, etc. So there's a lot of different uses for the pauser, but that's that one. So the next type that I want to talk about is, I call it a joiner. I think that might be the official name. Let me see. Tablet, come back up here. Yeah, joiner is the official name. And so what the joiner is it allows you to join two different conveyor systems. So same as the other conveyors that we talked about. If you look on the side, the little white arrow tells you what direction the rollers are rolling in. So in this case, this one is rolling left to right, and I can pick it up. And same thing, I got the green arrow. So it's going left to right. However, I have this path that I want to connect into it. So like I want this package to come down this thing, join this one, and then roll down that one. So if I put this package here, let me go on the other side. So if the package is just, and let's do this. All right, there we go. So if I put the package on here, it's just going to roll down. It's going to roll straight. And let's grab that, okay? And then if the package is on this one, it'll come in, and then it's going to merge in with this one, and then that one's going to, and then it's going to roll straight. All right? So that's all the joiner does, is the joiner allows you to join two tracks together, and then those tracks are all flowing in a common direction. So it only has one joining pad that always rolls into the roller, and then it always rolls in the direction of the roller. So you can't join from multiple sides, and you can't change the directions unless you flip the thing. So if I wanted it to go in the other direction, I could flip it, but now you see the joiner roller is on the opposite side because it can only be in one place. And so when that if you got your joiner in the wrong direction, what's going to happen is this thing's going to get to the end and it's going to stop. And it's like, because it can't, oh, well, it joined on it. That's interesting. Okay. So that's a fun fact that we didn't know about. I would have expected it to not be able to move on to that track. But it can. So that's something good to know. If you've got something where you're going side by side like this, that might be interesting to not have those guys. Let me see. Let's try this out. So let's put this on here. And will he slide over? He will not. Okay. I was worried about it getting over there by mistake. I wouldn't risk it. I would only use the joiner if you actually need the joiner. Otherwise, I would just use a regular straight one. All right, so that's the joiner conveyor. So the next one we want to talk about is, let's talk about the bridge. And so all the bridge conveyor allows you to do is it allows you to go over other bridges, right? So we have this one that's going straight. We got this one, and we just want to come over it and go do our own thing. So let me grab this corner, make it a little bit more realistic. So let's say we flip it. There we go. So the bridge just allows you to skip one row. And so the way that we'll put this on here, and then the same thing, you see the little white arrow, it only goes in one direction. So the white arrow shows you what direction it goes in. When you pick it up, it also has the green arrow at the top that tells you the direction that it's flowing in. And so we'll unpause it there. And then all it does is it just sends the package up and over. And then it comes down and joins the other thing. And so you can take the bridge and you can put it here like this. So if you notice, the gap is there, but the packages, the problem with this is, hold on, I didn't want to, this thing has a green sticker on it, and that was a red scanner, and I didn't want it to get a red sticker on there by mistake. All right, so now that we can not mistake our package, so it'll let the package go clip through the thing. I don't trust it. You know, the physics will let it clip through that. I personally wouldn't put that in any of my builds. I would always leave the gap and run it properly. The other thing that you can do is you can put it here. And so if I unpackage this guy, so if you notice now it clips through the top. And so it will let the package clip through. There we go. There we go. So it will let the package clip through the top and go across. Let me just take that off. And again, so it's clipping through this other one, and it doesn't look like it impedes the progress. I personally would not do this in my build. I would only put this where it has proper clearance like that. I would not risk it. The problem is once you have everything in place in terms of your setup, you're not going to be able to watch everything. Like if I just had one thing to watch, then maybe I would give it a go. However, considering I got to watch everything over here, everything over there, and all of that, I want to know that it's got the least amount of friction possible. And so I would not set the bridge up in a place where it's clipping things, because it just potentially, it could run into issues. All right, so I got packages over there. Okay, perfect. So let's see. Can I find, okay, perfect. This is excellent right here. All right, so if we look at this package, it has a rocket ship on it. So if you look in the upper left-hand corner, it's the little spaceship. We do not do spaceships. So that's one that we can mark red. So let's put the bridge down here. Get that out of the way. Okay. So the next thing we want to talk about is the red stamper. And so the game calls this one Sticker Applier Conveyor Deny is the official name of it. It costs $3,000. But what it does is it puts a red sticker on the box. So in this case, this one is a spaceship. That's wrong. And so essentially what happens is as this comes down the conveyor, it will automatically put a red sticker on it. There you go. And now we can see that it has the red sticker and it's denied. The cool thing about the red one is if it already has a sticker, so let's go grab one that already comes across with a sticker, this guy right here. So he already has a red sticker on it, and if we throw that on here, it will not put a second red sticker on there. There you go. So it's smart enough to know that it doesn't need a red sticker. So that's awesome. And then this is the green one, and the green one it works the exact same way, except it does the green stickers. So in the game, it calls it Sticker Applier Conveyor Approve, also $3,000. And it also knows that I can't put a sticker on one that already has a green sticker. So we'll slide that one through. And then if I had one that doesn't have a green sticker, I don't have all the scanners set up, so I don't want to go through that in this little test. But if I had one with no sticker and it needed a green, if it has no sticker, when it comes through, it'll slap a green sticker on it. Now, the tricky part is this conveyor does not know if that package is approved or denied. Any box without a sticker is going to get a sticker applied to it when it goes through this conveyor. So if you have one on the wrong path, if you have one that it weighs too heavy and you put it through this green thing, it's going to put a green sticker on it because it doesn't have any intelligence. All it looks for is there a sticker right there? If there's not, put one on it. If there is, don't do anything. So that's how that one works. And so that's the red and the green one. Moving on. So the next thing we want to move on to is this thing right here. And does this guy need to be inspected? He does not. All right. Let's go find one on the truck that needs to be inspected, and we can play with that. This first one right here. Perfect. All right. So this red sticker right here says content inspection required. So what happens is this next one is this guy right here. And the game calls him... Scroll down because he's right here. Contents inspection diverter conveyor. Costs $1,250. And all this one's going to do is when it goes through these two yellow lines, it's looking for that red sticker. If it finds the red sticker, it's going to send it that way. If there is no red sticker, it's going to send it straight. And the reason why I know that is because of this arrow right here. So contents requires sticker. And then the arrow goes that way. So that's how I know that it's going to divert the packages that way. So if I take this one that has a sticker and I put this on here, it's going to shoot it up. There we go. It diverts it up into that path and comes down. So if I grab this box, which does not have contents required, it should go straight. So we throw that on there and it does not have content required and it lets that thing go straight. So that's how you divert those two things. Where you use the content diverter is when you're doing the scanning. So if I come over here, in the last place in line, I put the contents prohibited scanner at the end, and I do the diverter so that I'm only using this scanner for the ones that have that ticket. I'm assuming if it doesn't have a ticket and you scan it, it doesn't create a problem. But you're inspecting a package that you don't need to inspect, and so therefore at that point you're just wasting time. So that's the diverter. So that's how that works. All right. The next one we're going to talk about is the jumpers. So let's grab this. These are the jumper conveyors. This first one is level 1. How do we know? There's no blue light, and if I upgrade it, it tells me it's going to upgrade from level 1 to level 2. This one is level 2 because it has the small blue light, and if I right mouse click, it says upgrade level 2 to level 3. And then this one's level 3. The blue light is the longest, and there's no right click option, so I know that that's level 3. So the difference in these launchers, and let's look at what it calls it. Shop. So this is actually called launcher conveyor. So it's $650, the launcher conveyor. And what the launcher conveyor does is exactly what it says. It throws the package across a gap. So in this case, the level 1 launcher throws it at the gap in 4. And how do I know that it's 4? So if I grab this guy, all right. And so what I mean by 4 is this, I'm sorry, 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 holes right there. That's how far level 1 throws. Level 2 throws, I think it's 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then level 3 throws it 15. which is insane. So here's level 1. We'll show you what it looks like. Level 1 throws it across a gap of 3. And if you notice, it lands on like this final third right here. So if I had a 4th, it would fall too short. And then let's look at level 2. So level 2 will throw it across a gap of 5. So we'll come down here, and there it is. And same thing, it lands right about the middle. So it's going to be too short for that next one. And then the last one, level 3, throws it an amazing 15 spaces. So we'll come down here and we will watch it land right on that one. And it lands on this first half. And so if we look back, that is where it launched it from. The launchers are fun. They are, you know, a novelty. I personally would not use these in my builds. And the reason why is there's no control over the launcher. It just sends the package no matter what. So if you end up with a situation where, let me grab this box, because this box doesn't move on a conveyor. So if that box is there, it should not throw this, but it throws it anyway. Right? And so what I mean by that is if I take this and I come over here, and let's say I put this here, right? And I grab this guy. On the regular conveyor belt system, they'll stop. No, never. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh. Okay, it did not put a red sticker on it, so that's a great test. So the sticker machine only looks at does it have a sticker or not, and if it does not, it puts a sticker on it. So that's a great test. Let me do it this way. Let me break this down. All right, and then we'll put this here. So that's going to fall off the edge. All right, and then we're going to put this here. And now that one knows that that one fell off the edge, so it stops. And then if I put this one on here, it knows that that box is stopped, so it stops. And it stops because this one fell off. If I pick this up, now it'll keep going. That one falls off the edge, and then that one will stop. So these regular conveyor systems, they're pretty smart when there's a bottleneck or when there's a jam, and they know to kind of like police themselves and then stop. The launcher does not know that. So if I put this here, and then that's going to fall off, and I grab this, and I put this here, okay, why did that not work? Now I know how Steve Jobs feels when he like demos something and it doesn't work. All right, let's try this again. Put that on there. Put that on there. So that falls off. That knows to stop. So if I grab this box and I put him on this conveyor, he knows not to go because everything's jammed up. So now if I grab this box and I put it on the launcher, you would think that the launcher would not throw the box because everything's jammed. But no, that's not the case. It throws it anyway. It doesn't care. And so what ends up happening is it just as these boxes come down, it just keeps throwing them. And so you've seen in some of my earlier videos where the thrower just creates absolute havoc when something happens to the conveyor belts. So because of that, I would never use these jumpers in my build. The only place where I may use it is somewhere where I know there won't be a bottleneck and where packages won't have risk of piling up and causing problems. But for them, but pretty much no, I'm never going to use the jumpers. But they're in the game. All right. So that being said, let's go to the next one. So the next one is this sorter or diverter. So let's see what the game calls that. And this is called cargo type diverter conveyor. It's $1,200. And so what this one does is all the packages come in from one direction. So let's add this guy on here and make this fun. All right. So that what happens is they come in, and then so this is a truck. So if I zoom in the upper left-hand corner or the bottom left-hand corner, I guess, is a truck, right? So what we want to do is over here, you can change which side. So there's 3 sides that you have to set where you want your packages to go. And so what this allows you to do is it allows you to, there's 4 package types in the game, and this allows you to sort 2 of those package types. And then the other 2 have to go together. So what I mean by that is if I set this to road, that means the only road packages can come out this side. Okay, and if I go to the middle and I set this to train, only train can come down this middle row. And then if I come over here and I say, I can set it to air, but then what happens if there's a boat that comes down here, right? The boat's not taken care of. And so if I set it to road, I already have a road, I already have a rail. I can set it to boat, but then what happens when an airplane comes down? The airplane won't have anywhere to go. And then I can set it to none, so nothing comes out this side. Or I can set it to other, and then the other 2 that aren't specified, so in this case, airplane and boat are not specified, both of them will come out that side. So let's see what we have here. So this is a truck, so that should go down and go out the left. And it does. Perfect. And let's go grab this guy. And this guy is a rocket ship. This guy is a train. So the train should go straight ahead. Yep, so the train goes straight. And then that guy's the rocket ship. What is this guy? This guy is a boat. And so the boat should go to the right. Because we have the other 2 coming out that side. And that is correct. So now what I want to do is let's set this to boat. Whoops, I went too far. So that's only boat. So now only boat should go to the right. We'll double check it, and it does. And so now let's go grab an airplane box. Do we have an airplane box? I think we do. We have an airplane box over here. We do. Yes, it's in the right place. And let's look at this airplane box and see what happens when this doesn't have... This shouldn't go out either one. This should stick the system. Yeah, so it gets in there and it gets stuck. And the reason it's stuck is because this is airplane, but I don't have an exit for airplanes. And so what you would have to do is, if you want to divert packages, and this is what I've done over here, is you're going to have to sort everything twice. And so what happens is, when you look at this one that I have in my setup, the first sort over here is boat, and the boat comes out and it goes down and it goes to the boat queue. Then I have airplane. Airplane goes down and it goes to the airplane queue. And then here I have other, which is truck and train. And so they come out. And then what you have to do is you have to do a secondary sort to then manage the other 2. So this side is train only going that way. This side is truck only coming that way. And of course, this side is none, because my only 2 options should be train or truck. I shouldn't get anything else coming through here. So that one's set to none. And so what you end up having to do is you have to do secondary sorts in order to deal with 4 package types. All right, so let's continue moving on. So the next piece that we want to look at is one that I haven't really played with, and that's this one right here with all the squares on the top. So in the game, that is called a Smart Splitter Conveyor, and it's $800. And so what this one does is you feed in 1 track, and then it automatically sends it down the other tracks based on the availability. So if I come here and make the... Oh, you know what? That needs to be a pauser. Let me go get this pauser. All right, pauser here. So what happens is when the flow is equal, it can send it any way it wants. It doesn't matter. So in this case, it just sends it to the left. All right. So now what happens is if the left is blocked and the right is blocked. So let's do this, put that on there. Let's do this, put that on there. So now those guys are blocked. So now what it's going to do is it's just going to send it down the middle, because the middle is the one that's unblocked. And so see, it came down the middle. So we turn that off. We put this on here, turn that on. So now it'll send it down the one that's on the left. And so it just sends it down. Of the 3, oh, that's a mistake. It should not have sent it that way because this is blocked. That's unfortunate. Okay. Basically, it's a diverter, and it should send it down the path that's available, or is not backed up, or has the least amount of traffic. So it basically is like a traffic cop, and it sends it down one of the 3 lanes that's available. The problem is you don't get to specify. So this has the intelligence built into it. So if I break this down, break that down, and break this down, if you look at the controller, I can't control any of these. I have one arrow and it only goes in one direction. I can rotate it, but there's no flip command because it only goes in one direction. And so theoretically, I could not put something on here. So if I wanted to divert it, if I wanted to use it as a straight, I could put it there, I think. Let's find out. And so that makes it go straight. Does it know? Yeah, so it knows it doesn't have these things on the side. So now when I put that in place, now it knows to send it that way. So this handles all the diversion. I don't know where I would put this in my setup. The only thing I can think of is maybe coming off the truck. So right here, coming off the truck, I send everything through every one. I guess I could put one of those smart things here and have it split off into these 3, and all 3 of these would be loaders. And then coming off of here would be unloaders, and they could filter into one. I mean, I guess I could do that. I don't see the point though. I really don't. So I'm struggling to find a way to use this in the game. So if you have any ideas of how to use this diverter, drop it in the comments and let me know. But yeah, so that's that. So there's only 2 other things that we didn't talk about. And the first one is the unloader conveyor, and the second one is the loader conveyor. And so one of those, they're both $600, and you use them with racks. So let's go over here and let's grab a rack. We got this rack over here. We'll throw him right here. And we'll just put it right there for now. Okay. And then we will grab a loader. And we'll grab an unloader. All right. So what these do is the orange one is a loader, and it loads packages onto storage racks. The yellow one is an unloader, and it unloads packages from the storage racks. So the way I utilize them is I put them on the end like this, and then it'll just stick whatever package. It just loads it onto the rack. So if I put it on here, and it, boom, loads it on the rack. And there you go. That's what the loader does. The trick with these guys is if you look at the bottom underneath the lights. So you see the red lights. At the bottom bar under the red lights, when you attach this to the rack, you want to make sure those bars spawn in first. So if I come here and then you see the little bars at the bottom underneath the green lights, when you see those bars, that's when you attach it. If you attach it before those bars show, that's where you get that little glitch that I showed in the last video, where it's not working. All right, so we'll put the unloader on there, and boom, it pulls it off. Okay, now you don't have to put them this way. You can put them anywhere. So if I rotate this and I put it here, I can put it there. And if I rotate this and I put it there, I can put it there. And it's the same thing. So the loader will load it, boom, and the unloader will load it. And so you don't have to put them on the ends like I do. You can put them on any side of it. So yeah, so you can experiment with it a little bit and do different things. So if I come down here, move that. So if I could do my rack, like I do my rack sideways. I could do it like this. And I could say, I could take this guy and turn him around. And I can put him here. And then let me just get another... I did that the other way around. Let me do this. I want to unload him from that rack. And then I want to load him to this rack. Like that. And let me get one more loader. Should be another one here. Yeah, we got him. Alright. And I mean, I can put it in the middle if I wanted to. I can put them on. It doesn't matter where you put them, as long as they connect to the rack. And then, so then what'll happen is I'll put this guy on here. He'll go onto the first rack. He gets unloaded and put on the second rack. No, that doesn't work. Okay, so you still need a little bit of a belt. I thought I was going to be a little smarter than that. I thought when... Let's see, what if I put him here... Play around with it. I haven't played with it from the sides. So he loads it, he unloads it. Yeah, so in order to load it onto that rack, we would need to back these guys up. So if we did this, and we did this, and we did this, and we did this. So if we did this, and then we could have it on separate sides, but we'll put it on the same side. So if I did this, that should load it on there, take it off of there, load it on there. And so we can do it that way. The problem is you get this wasted space right here. So we get this wasted space. So that's why I do it from the sides like this. So everything stacks up. And to me, it's better use of space. The only time I would do this, if I had to do something in the middle of the floor and I needed to use that bridge. So like if I needed to get through this thing for some reason with a bridge, then that might make sense to do the racks that way. Because over here I'm not bridging through that, right? But yeah, that's the loader and the unloader. So yeah, that's all the different conveyor types. That's how you work with them and how you use them. Just to double check in the tablet that I didn't forget anything. We talked about the straight conveyor, we talked about the corner, we talked about the joiner, we talked about the bridge, the loader, the pauser, the unloader, the diverter, the inspection diverter, the sticker for yes and no or green or red. We talked about the smart splitter, and we talked about the launcher. So yeah, that is all the conveyor parts, how they work, and where I use them. Hopefully you guys found this video useful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you have any other videos that you would like me to make, anything you would like me to talk about or cover in the game, drop that in the comments below. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, wherever you are. We will see you in the next one. Peace out.